Rubber burden engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hyper shift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hyper shift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Tire spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hyper shift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hyper shift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's delight. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the tricky triangle. It is Pocono Speedway here this evening with the Hypershift Racing League. Is the Hypershift Racing League ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this evening for what is going to be an absolutely amazing show, an absolutely amazing race here today, sponsored by DrAutoArt.com, as this is the DrAutoArt.com 175 here this evening as these drivers get ready for 70 laps of racing action. Yo, Black Phoenix, what's good? Black Phoenix coming in, showing the love, the like on the stream, 213 Simware with that like and the share, and Hypershift Racing League coming in with that like in the share as well here on the broadcast as we'll get ready to set these drivers loose. Qualifying has come to a close, so that means we'll get ready to rumble here in just a couple more moments. Sean, what's good, Sean? Mr. O'Keefe coming in says, hey, how are you? How you doing, Sean? How you doing today? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful evening as we'll get all these drivers ready to rumble, ready to rock and roll here this evening. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how this kind of plays out, how this race is going to go. I do believe, let me double check here and see where we're at for the no stages, so we could see this race really go clean and green, which could make it a very, very interesting race. I'm not sure what the tire wear is going to look like here. I'm not sure how that's going to play out and how these drivers are going to handle, not just tire wear. I don't think tire wear is going to be a major factor, but I think a lot of it's going to come down to the green flag pit stops that we could see, fuel mileage out there on the racetrack, and when and how often these drivers need to come down pit side. This is a very long front straightaway, very long pit road, and you can make a mistake. You can have problems out there on the racetrack, and obviously, if you're down pit side, you get caught speeding, you get a penalty, man, it could cost you your race in a quick hurry. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that one and see how this kind of gets played out, and see who kind of puts themselves into a position later in the evening to try to jump up, make some moves, maybe put themselves into a winning situation. As man, this is going to be fun. This is going to be really interesting, kind of just to see what these drivers are able to do, where they're going to be out there on the track, and how they're going to be able to put themselves into a winning situation here this evening, as this is going to be interesting. This is the Tricky Triangle. It's named that for a reason, as this is definitely a very tricky racetrack. It's very tough to get around this speedway and to make some moves to try to put yourself into a situation to try to win races. So it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be really fun. This is gonna be interesting, not only to see pit stops, it's gonna be interesting to see how everything is played out in this track. It's very diverse. It's very interesting, as it's built kind of differently. So it's a diverse facility originally designed for Indy and Champion car by Dr. Joe Mattoli. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Yeah, it was inspired by Bill France. So turn 1 is the former Trenton, New Jersey Speedway. Turn 2, the tunnel turn, it is, it's mirrored to kind of what we see at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And turn 3 is a whole lot like Milwaukee Mile. So that's what this track is kind of based off of. It also has the longest and widest straightaway here on the schedule. The longest and widest straightaway. So it is 3,740 feet long and 100 feet wide. That is a very big track. That's a very big front straightaway. And as we said, going down pit road, you get caught speeding, you end up with a penalty. It could all of a sudden put yourself into a bad hole out there on the racetrack, especially if we see this race potentially go clean and green, because that is always a viable option. As here we go, gonna get ready to rumble. As starting on the pole, it is the race EPI.com number 24, Jack Simpson. Simpson will start in the pole position. Beautiful 213 Simwear Adidas number 95 ride. It's Anthony Ludi there in second. Zach Wilson in the wrong grind will start in position number 3 to his outside. The Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea number 94. It's Adam Boughton there in 4th. Jeremiah Nelson there in 5th, with Dalton Wicker, the Tiny Toes ride there in 6th. Michael Carter in the 1 rider. Michael Sheffield bring up row number 4 with Dylan Picklesheimer and the number 9 of Al Likens rounding out our top 10. James Hudson, Drew King, Justin Hendry, Chase Abel back there in that Noble American number 7 riding 14th. Corey Dank, Gage Wenzel, Jonathan Cogswell, Tyler Cronister, Max Gost, Chris Zofeld starting down pit side, and unfortunately for Kent Mueller, and also not out there on the racetrack to start today's feature event, is here we go, ending all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as we are quickly green flag racing, as it is the 24 of Jack Simpson able to clear. Ludi down and out of corner number 1 here at the Tricky Triangle. They'll head down this back straightaway and in to the tunnel turn. Ludi looking to the outside. That's a bold move here. This tunnel turn is very tricky. It's very slick sometimes, especially with the lower PSI in these tires. Is a little bit less grip. You could definitely run into problems, get a little bit of a wiggle. You could end up into a car on your outside, or if you're on the outside, you could just get pushed up into the outside fence. So you got to be very cautious about rolling that outside groove, especially down in through that tunnel turn. But leading lap number 1 here of 70 laps, it is Jack Simpson. As Simpson out in front has this race lead, looking to try to keep it and looking to try to open up a bit of a gap early on here between himself and Ludi. Is Ludi holding on to position number 2 here, having a great run. Is Zach Wilson right there in 3rd, and then we see Boughton just able to hold off Dalton Wicker. Wicker looking down to his inside there, trying to put that Tiny Toes ride up and into position number 4, but here he is continuing to look for more out there on the racetrack as he sits back in that 5th position. Jeremiah Nelson back in 6th, and then we see Michael Sheffield there in 7th. Dylan Picklesheimer up to 8th, as Al Likens now into the 9th ninth position in that Coolers number 9 ride. But here comes the Liquid Death Machine to his outside. That is Michael Carter trying to work his way back into that ninth position as they're door-to-door down across the line here at Pocono. Here comes James Hudson, Gage Wenzel right there as well, as Wenzel already up 3 positions here on the racetrack. And as of right now, he is the hard charger out there on the speedway. Passing's going to get very, very tough, especially if we see this stay clean and green. It may be a race to be won down pit road here this evening. I'm not sure when we'll get these drivers down pit side, when they'll make that move to pit road to try and get some work done to their race cars, to try to get themselves set up here for later in this race. I'm not sure what the fuel mileage is going to look like, but I do believe for each and every one of these drivers, the fuel is not very, it's not a lot, man. It's not a lot. It is 75% fuel. There is no fast repair, so if you run into issues, you get a problem, your night can be over in a quick hurry here at a racetrack like Pocono, because there's so much speed, so much momentum being built up around this racetrack, where if you end up getting spun, you hit a wall, it can tear your car up and put you back behind pit wall and out of this race in a quick hurry. So you got to be very, very cautious, and you got to try to keep your car alive. But there we go. We see one driver around. It's the 18 ride. Oh, no. Tough break right there for Michael Carter, as he is going to go around, and look at that. Already heavy damage there on that 18 machine, as the Liquid Death ride was struggling, falling backwards from where he qualified. And now early on, a caution flag as him and the 9 ride continue to battle back here. This is for that 9th position, and you see the 9 just getting a big run to the outside here. 18, I don't think expecting him to be there, comes up the track and not clear of the 9 ride. The 9 of Al Lykin's going to keep his foot in the throttle. Unfortunately, gets the 18 spun around sideways backwards into that wall, and there we go. Our first caution flag of the day. Now, luckily enough, still quite a bit of damage for that 18 machine. Probably a little bit of damage there for Al Lykins, but not as much as what there could have been. Could have been a whole lot worse out there on the racetrack. And shout out to my boy Bobby Hall Jr. as well. Bobby coming in, dropping that thumbs up here on the broadcast. I appreciate that, Bobby, showing the love here in this one, as Michael Carter is going to take this car down pit side, gonna try to get it repaired. Now the good news is if you do have some damage, if it's only fairly minor damage like this Liquid Death 18 ride got right there, you got quite a bit of time here. The thing with Pocono is that the cautions can be killer, especially for your boy up here in the booth. The cautions can definitely be let's say bittersome to a certain extent, as sometimes they take quite a while to get this fuel back around the racetrack, and everyone kind of lined up here. You get pit stops underway and everything else. It can chew up quite a bit of time, and definitely it gives a lot of time for drivers down pit road, to get their cars fixed up, cleaned up, and rolling here on the speedway again, as we do see Michael Carter. Looks like Carter's taken his car down behind pit wall, so maybe even that little bit of damage may have been more extensive than what we thought it was going to be, and that is a heartbreaker for Mr. Carter. And here we go. We do see some drivers elected to come down pit road, maybe trying to already play some of that fuel strategy game, as there's the 20 ride of Jeremiah Nelson, Dylan Picklesheimer, Al Lykins, Jonathan Cogswell, Chronister. Here comes Drew King. Here comes Max Koss. I figured we'd see a few drivers from deeper in the field come down pit road, but man, there is quite a few of them making their way, making a trip down pit side, giving up quite a bit of track position for drivers like Jeremiah Nelson and Dylan Picklesheimer to come down pit road here and make this gamble already only 5 laps into this race to get fuel, to get tires, and to get ready to rumble here again this evening. So it's a big strategy call. We'll have to wait and see kind of how that works out for them, if that's going to help them or hurt them later in this race. But nonetheless, we digress and we get ready to see a little bit more racing action here in just a little bit, as here we go. They're headed down the Long Pond back straightaway here at Pocono and headed down towards that tunnel turn. And for all these drivers, they are they're just patient here. It takes a little while, takes a good chunk of change to get around this racetrack. I do believe a caution lap around here, almost 2 minutes long, so that gives you a lot of time down pit side to, as I said, get those repairs, to work on your car, to just trying to make swings, changes, or anything that you need down pit road. So you got lots and lots of time to make those decisions, see what you need to do, check out your strategy and how that's playing out. And even for some of those drivers that were just down pit road, even though we're about to get the one to go right here, if you're already on the strategy, if you've already given up that track position, what's stopping you from making another pit stop right here, coming back down pit road, making sure you get that thing topped up with fuel even more, knowing that every lap could count. You get that extra little bit, whether or not it's an eighth of fuel or just a little bit more, a little bit less, as you do see Al Likens. He'll head back down pit road. Here comes Jeremiah Nelson. Here comes Cost as well. So at least a few drivers going to play that strategy. They will head down pit side and they will make sure they get their cars absolutely topped up here with fuel, because they can catch up to the back of the pack here before we even go back and see that green flag fly again. So lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and we'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening. And Jaden Robert coming in says, hey, it's Jaden Newson. What's good, Jaden? Says, sorry to miss the race at NASCAR. I'm Watkins Glen for the weekend. Let's go, baby. At Watkins Glen for the weekend. Didn't the main NASCAR series just run there last weekend? It's always weird to me when they do that, because I know the trucks are there now, right? The trucks are there for this weekend. I don't understand that theory of like why they would have the trucks somewhere else last weekend and then have the Xfinity and Cup series at Watkins Glen last weekend. Why would they not have all three series right there at Watkins Glen last weekend, man? I don't understand that. I don't know why they wouldn't all be there, but man, nonetheless, that's gotta be fun. That's gonna be a great show. I've heard some things. I'm not too far away from Watkins Glen, in comparison to other racetracks, but Iowa last weekend, the Glen this weekend. Yeah, see, that's what I mean, right? Like, why do they have the trucks in Iowa? Well, they had everyone else there at the Glen. Like, why wouldn't they have it all in one thing? Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. Yeah, exactly. Why would they not have all three series there this weekend? They were there last weekend for the Cup Series. Now they're not there this weekend, right? Like, I don't think they're running back-to-back Glen races. I just don't understand that. Craftsman Truck Series is tomorrow. Oh, they were at Iowa last weekend, were they not? Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. They were at Iowa last weekend. You are right there. Okay. For some reason, I thought they were just at the Glen, were they not? I could have swore they were just there. Never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of one of my other races. Maybe I'm thinking of one of my series, maybe. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I know I watched a race at Watkins Glen not too long ago. I'm pretty sure it was probably one of my other races. I must have just got them confused there. But nonetheless, here we go. Back to Green Flag Racing. Out in front, it is Jack Simpson. Simpson has that race lead, but they're wrecking again back behind. Our race leader says no caution flag on the racetrack as of yet. It's Dylan Picklesheimer, and it's the 84 Cogswell. Cogswell going to take his car right down and off the racetrack, and for Picklesheimer, heavy damage here on that Money Lion number 45 ride. Let's take a look back and see what happens as these two drivers running fairly good, but we see a little bit of three wide here down and out at corner number one. So that is Hudson up on the high side, and you just see the 45 right here get a little bit loose. So the 45 just got tires, just got fuel. I don't know if he got a little help right here. He may have a little bit of contact from the 45. Let's take a look at it. So the 54 is right on his back bumper. That's Justin Hendry. Was there contact right there? I didn't even really get a good look at that. As I'm not sure if that was neck coat or if he did give him a shot. Really tight. I don't know. It didn't really look like he made any contact with them. I think the 45 just tried to roll that inside lane and got a little bit loose, and as he did get loose, tries to come back up the racetrack here. I'm not sure where the contact is with the 84 right there. So, oh man, that's a tough break right there. 45, 84, they get tied together. Obviously the 45 already pretty loose, but the 84 bounces off the wall. 45 bounces off Al Likens back down into the inside fence here himself. So both drivers getting some pretty solid damage right there. That's a big hit. That's what we talked about here at a speedway like Pocono, that you're carrying so much speed and momentum. Even just after that restart, they're still going 140, 150 miles an hour, if not more, coming out of corner number one. And for Cogswell, man, this is a big hit here for the 84 ride, man. The 44 Farms machine just gets hooked down into the inside wall, and that's game over there for the 84, and unfortunately could be night over as well for Dylan Picklesheimer. Nonetheless, both drivers heavy damage. Cogswell down pit side. He is probably going to be down there for a very extended period of time here, trying to get that thing repaired and trying to get it back out onto the racetrack, as we'll get all these drivers continue to battle, but no caution flag, so that's even worse news for the 84, as he's going to go a couple laps down already in this race. Still down pit side for Dylan Picklesheimer. He's still on the lead lap, but he's got all that damage. He's got to hope that it's just mainly cosmetic and nothing really going wrong under the hood or too much wheel damage where it's really killing his time. But if he can kind of wait patiently, try to keep on rolling out there on the racetrack and not go a lap down, catch a caution flag, maybe it could help him come down pit road and make some repairs and get this car somewhat fixed back up to roll back out there onto the racetrack. But as of right now, it's all Jack Simpson, as Simpson continues to lead the way. Jack at the front of the field here is that beautiful RaceEPI.com 2430 machine at the front of the field. Adam Boughton now into position number 2. Is Boughton able to slide around Anthony Ludy, sliding Ludy back into position number 3 on the speedway. Dalton Wicker up and into position number 4. Here is Gage Wenzel now up inside the top 5. So for the Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches 2430 machine, obviously getting some extra positions during that caution flag and having drivers in front of him come down pit road, but being able to make the right moves out there on the racetrack. See Wenzel back up inside the top 5. Gage is looking to try to win. I do believe it's 4 races in a row here on the series. He's been looking very strong. He's been doing a great job. And here again this evening, back inside the top 5, trying to run his race, trying to catch up to his teammate here at the front of the field and trying to see if he can win 4 races in a row here for Gage Wenzel. He's been a absolute cannonball, an absolute fireball out there on the racetrack, continuing to just blow through these races, picking up checkered flags and keeping everyone else back there in his dust, as Michael Carter in that 6th position, getting a great look at the back bumper of that 36 right. A very good sight that everyone's been kind of getting used to over the last few weeks. Zach Wilson back in position number 7. Corey Denk up into 8th here, also up 8 positions on the racetrack, moving his way towards the front of the field in that Tiny Toes ride, as James Hudson right behind him. Chase Abel in that beautiful Noble American number 7 ride. He rolls in position number 10 as Jeremiah Nelson, Justin Hendry, door to door back there behind him. The 9 rider Al Lankins right there within striking distance, as well as it looks like Jeremiah going to make the move around the 54 and already looking to make the move on the 7 right as well, using that inside lane down through corner number 3. And my gosh, he's making some moves up there towards the front. As Rodney says, "Fish guy making me hungry." What fish guy, Rodney? What fish guy? There's a fish guy making you hungry? Oh, is it the Tom's Tasty Taters? That's what I think we're. Okay, we get it. The Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches ride, making our boy Rodney hungry here this evening. For me, I'm not a fish guy. Taters, I'm all on board with taters. I'm good with taters all day, every day. But when it comes to fish, I'm out on fish. No thank you. I'm out. No way. Not gonna happen. The only thing I eat that comes out of the water is tuna. That's the only fish I like. It's the only fish I'll eat, and it's in a sandwich. That's it. That is all. Is just tuna sandwiches. Anything else I will not eat that comes from the water, including shellfish, including crabs or anything else. It's only tuna. That's the only thing I'll eat. Is Michael Sheffield there in 6. Zach Wilson trying to hunt them down, as well as that Rogue number 51 ride. Started up in the 3rd position here, is falling back into 7th. So we got to wonder what may be going wrong here for Zach Wilson and what's causing this car to kind of fall off the pace out there on the racetrack and slide back into that 7th position, as Corey Denk and James Hudson trying to hunt him down, as that beautiful Miller Latte machine, the Miller Light ride, trying to hunt these guys down, try to work his way back around that 17 ride. Is Jeremiah Nelson as well. He was one of those drivers that came down pit road. Him and Al Likens came down pit side there on lap number 5. They came back down pit road on lap 6, made sure they got extra fuel into their race cars, but they put fresh tires on really only after, what do we have, 2 laps of green flag racing before that first caution flag got thrown. 2-3 laps of green flag racing, so really not a whole lot of laps for all these other drivers, but maybe that little bit, just those couple laps, could be the difference maker here this evening, as tire wear will be a bit of a factor. It won't be huge, but it will be a bit of a factor here throughout the evening. And then obviously fuel going to be that big question mark for all these drivers. How much fuel can you get in a tank? How long can you go? Can you save any fuel out there? And how many times down pit road do you got to come down pit side? How many pit stops will we have to see here this evening? Will it be a 2-stop race? Will it be 3 stops for the drivers that are still out there? As it's going to get very tight here in a quick hurry, and we may start to see drivers come down pit road in just a little bit, because this is a big racetrack. It's a big, long racetrack out there at Pocono, so fuel's going to get burned off in a quick hurry. And with the 75% fuel maximum for all these drivers, that means you only get 3/4 of a tank of fuel even after a pit stop. So it's not like you get the full 100% that the real NASCAR guys get. So you're really kind of set back with that, and it kind of adds a whole different, atmosphere to the race. It kind of adds that whole different element, knowing that fuel is going to be a big factor, and you may have to try to play your cards right, try to make some changes, try to make some different rules out there to put yourself into a good position here. As here we go, strolling down and out of corner number 4 and back down the front straightaway. It's our race leader, the EPI machine of Jack Simpson, as Simpson continues to have this race lead, as that Camaro out in front, the Chevy continuing to show these drivers how to get it done, has about a 9/10 of a second lead now between himself and this 94 ride of Adam Boughton. Is Boughton in the Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea machine. We love ourselves some Arnie Palmies. Don't get me wrong with that one. We love the Arnold Palmer iced teas 100%. As Boughton right there in position number 2. His teammate Anthony Ludi right there behind him is the pair of 213 Simware rides, having a solid day here at Pocono. Both drivers up inside the top 3 here, having a pretty good showing, but they're all trying to figure out how to get that extra little bit of speed, or anything that they can use to their advantage to maybe get around Jack Simpson, take that race lead away from them, and put themselves into the top spot out there on the racetrack. As Wicker back in position number 4, he's looking for more, but he's got his hands full. As down low, here comes that 36 ride of Gage Wenzel, as Wenzel looking to make the move, looking to try to get around the Tiny Toes ride here at the front of the field, as this is a battle for 4th position out there on the racetrack. And if they start to battle more door to door out there on the speedway, could slow them down and could bring Michael Sheffield right into the battle, as Sheffield in the Higher Heroes USA number 1 ride. Very beautiful patriotic paint scheme on that number 1 ride of Sheffield, rolling back there in that 6th position, looking pretty out there on the racetrack, and he's trying to work his way up inside the top 5. So isn't that number 51 of Zach Wilson. But here we go, down the front straightaway, lining him up perfectly, getting that run off corner number 4 in the 36 ride. Going to take all the speed and momentum down into corner number 1 as they'll battle door to door down here into the first corner. So there is Gage Wenzel looking to try once again to take position number 4 away from that 77 machine. And now we really get to see how these battles are put together, and you see the run that the 77 gets, clears that 36 ride. Both drivers not wanting to go into the corner door to door there. Obviously never a good call to go door to door down through that tunnel turn, and they're gonna get single file, and it looks like Wenzel's going to have to try to size him up here, try to line him up for another big run. We'll have to wait and see if he can maybe get the run that he's looking for to maybe take that 4th spot away finally from that 77. But they're going to be drag racing down the front straightaway here. A battle back into corner number 1 here this evening, as there is no turn 4. It is turn 1, 2, and 3. I think I said turn 4 earlier. There is no turn 4. It is a triangle. It is the tricky triangle. This racetrack, it is built differently, and it is built for fun. That is for certain. Let's take a look here at that track map. You'll get a great look here at what that tricky triangle really looks like. There's a great look at it. There's a great aspect of it and where these drivers are. You see the 17 number just about to go across the start-finish line here, that red line. That, unfortunately, is, I do believe that is the 17th position of Dylan Picklesheimer. For Picklesheimer, obviously still with that damage, he is falling farther and farther back, and he's getting very close to potentially going a lap down, which still isn't the worst case scenario for that 45 ride, as everyone else that is a lap down out there on the racetrack is no longer in this race. We see Cogswell still down pit side and off the racetrack. I'm not sure if we'll see him roll back out there. Michael Carter, who got tied up in that first wreck, he is off and out of this race. Chris Sofeld and Kent Mueller both loaded in, both started here, but both are out of this race before even taking a lap this evening as well. So looks like we already lost virtually 4 drivers, and for Picklesheimer right now being on the lead lap, that's a great spot for him to be, as he wants to try and keep himself out of trouble and try to keep that car just keep on rolling here. Hope to catch a caution flag. If he can get a yellow, he's gonna have lots of time to come down pit road, try to get this thing repaired, try to get it fixed back up where he can battle again out there on the racetrack and keep on duking it out here this evening. But time is running up here as he's about to go lap down. But even if he does lose a lap out there on the racetrack, good news is that him being the only car a lap down should be able to get the wave around the lucky dog, get back onto the lead lap. Now the bad news is, now that we're kind of spread out a little bit more, things are a little bit more wide open, especially after green flag pit stops happen, then we're going to really see everything gets spread out. Not a whole lot of hard side-by-side action where we normally see caution flags get created, and we could see this race go clean and green the rest of the way. Here is just under 50 laps left to go here in this race for all these drivers. That is good news. They're clicking off the laps in a quick hurry, and seeing green flag racing is definitely always a good thing here for each and every one of these competitors here, as the Dr. AutoArt.com 175 moving along nicely here this evening after our first caution flag of the day. I wasn't sure how many more we were going to see. We were close to seeing another yellow there before, obviously no caution flag for the Picklesheimer and Jonathan Cogswell contact. And let's take a look back at that issue, back at that contact, and how this kind of got started for the 84 and for that 45 ride, as we'll take a look at Picklesheimer down and out of corner number 1, just gets loose here, starts to lose that rear end, starts to lose it, and then comes up into the 84. They make contact. 84 hard down into the wall. Then the 45 bounces off the 9 and into that inside fence himself. Now, unfortunately for both these drivers being at the back of the pack, no caution flag on the speedway. So it's their stop there, trying to get turned around. Obviously, heavy damage for the 84. He's taking his car out of this race. For the 45, still just trying to keep himself on here this evening, trying to keep himself out of trouble. As Zach Chapman coming in says, are you guys needing more drivers? Zach, unfortunately for this series, I don't think they're taking any more drivers this late in the season. I do believe you can hop into their Discord though, and if you look them up on Facebook, they are on Facebook as well. You can get their Discord information there. But their season starting to roll into the playoffs here. I do believe there's about 8 races left to go after tonight, so obviously not going to get things started with that, but they probably will be getting ready to try to get more drivers in here and get their next season for 2026 started up, get the marketing out there, bring new drivers in. So they're always going to be looking for new drivers to join us for the next season, but this season, unfortunately, it is locked. So not this year, unfortunately, brothers. Jack Simpson, though. Simpson out in front, continue to lead the way here. Simpson doing a great job, has that race lead, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay. Had almost a second lead advantage between himself and Adam Boughton, but Boughton slowly but surely chipping away at his race lead, kind of reeling him in here ever so slightly. It's down to about 0.6 of a second now between first and second. So Boughton is closing that gap, is reeling him in inch by inch out there on the racetrack. Ludi right there with them in that Adidas 213 Simwear Toyota as he rolls back in that third position. Gage Wenzel and Dalton Wicker again battling here for that fourth position as Wicker looking to try to take it back away from Wenzel out there on the speedway. We'll see who's going to come away with position number 4 as they make some contact down the front straightaway. Oh, baby, these two are getting racy and a little scrappy back here for that fourth spot on the racetrack. They know that they're going to be two fast cats all evening long, and now they're going to make a little bit more contact to the corner number 1. Oh, baby, it's getting chippy back here for position number 4. They are battling hard, and I know for Wicker, he does not want to see that 36 right in front of him here any longer as Gage Wenzel has won the last 3 races in a row, and that Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches ride has worked his way from 15th up and into 4th here throughout the start of this race, and he may not be done yet, man. He's looking to try to reel his way up towards the front of the pack. He wants to jump up and battle with his teammate for that race lead as the 24-30 rides having some good runs here as we do see Corey D now down pit side here in his Tiny Toes ride. So Corey hops down pit road. We did see Michael Sheffield and Zach Wilson also make pit stops there on lap number 24. So a couple drivers making their first pit stops of the day, and that's a big mistake right there for the 17 ride. That's going to cost him a second or so out there on the racetrack. That little bit of a slide down through his pit box. Unfortunately, that's going to lose a little time here during the green flag stops this evening. But for a lot of these drivers, they could catch a caution flag right now. Could be great news for them because they could leapfrog a lot of these other drivers as they come down pit side, as they're also in the lead lap. For a lot of these drivers, you can easily make green flag pit stops and probably not go a lap down here. So here we go. You see Corey D rolling back out onto the racetrack here into corner number 1. Jack Simpson just storming down into corner number 1 right now. So it's very close for the 17, but he will have fresher tires and he will stay in front of our race leader, who still needs to make an additional pit stop. It's here comes Dalton Wicker. Here comes Chase Abel also down pit road as there's that Noble American ride looking to make a pit stop here as well. These drivers got to be perfect as the 77 hits his pit stall, able to get that car some fresh tires and a tank of fuel and gets ready to roll back out onto the racetrack. There's Abel as well. He hits his spot perfectly as well. Crew goes to work getting that thing jacked up, getting a couple tanks of fuel into that ride, and he'll look to roll back out onto the speedway. But early pit stops here for Michael Sheffield and Zach Wilson. We'll have to see where they kind of come out. Unfortunately, they will not be able to gain enough here to maybe make that pass there on the 77 right at Dalton Wicker. They were kind of right behind that battle, and it looks like they may stay right there as well. As here we go. Here comes our race leader. Here comes that 24 of Jack Simpson. Simpson down pit road. Here comes Gage Wenzel, Justin Hendry, and James Hudson all coming down pit side right here as all these drivers once again, going to get fuel, going to get tires, going to get everything that they desire. Get ready to roll back out onto the racetrack. Is taking over the race lead is this number 94 ride of Adam Boughton. And it looks like these drivers kind of coming down pit road here around that 25, 28 lap area. Even some of them potentially coming down next time for lap 30. We could see this potentially be... It's going to be a two-stop race no matter what. I think it's going to be a two-stop race. They did have some caution laps there. They may have been able to save a little bit of fuel, but even if Boughton, Ludi, some of these guys that came down pit road there on lap 28, lap 29, if they can make it another, 28, 29 laps, that's really going to give them virtually, probably like a 12-lap run, 15-lap run to the end of this race. So we're going to see two pit stops here this evening. So that's all you got to do. You just got to hit your marks. Got to make no mistakes. Can't get caught speeding down pit side here today, because if you get caught down pit road, it could take you out of this race with a quick crew. With the pass-through penalty, you're many seconds back behind the race leaders, back behind any of these other competitors from where you were battling, and obviously it could put you in a big hole that you can never recoup. If we don't see another caution flag out there on the racetrack, you may not go a lap down, but you're probably not going to be able to get yourself back into the action. But here we go. You do see the 94 roll back out onto the racetrack. That was our race leader right there, Jack Simpson. So Simpson able to stroll around the 94. Now we still have a few drivers rolling out there on the racetrack, but for the 94, he's got Dalton Wicker right on his back bumper. So Wicker already making the move down to the inside. Wicker gained quite a bit on that pit stop. Coming down pit road there on lap number 28 for Dalton Wicker. Not only did it leapfrog Anthony Ludi, but it also leapfrogged the 36 ride of Gage Wenzel. Wenzel and Ludi now behind Zach Wilson, Michael Sheffield as well. So for the 95 and the 36, not the pit stops that they were looking for, as that's actually going to lose them some time, and it's going to lose them a bit of track position out there on the racetrack, as Wicker and Boughton, looks like Boughton able to hold off the charge there from Dalton Wicker. So Wicker goes from running in that 5th position to now running in 3rd, and only being a second and a bit away from our race leader Jack Simpson, or what will be our race leader once everything cycles through. And once again, Jack Simpson, when he came down pit road, only had about half a second between himself and Adam Boughton. Boughton now about a second back here, so gained a little bit there on the 94. Not a whole lot, but maybe enough that just make him feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease here throughout this next bit of the run, as we did see Tyler Chronister make his way down pit side, as some of these drivers did come down pit road on lap 5, lap 6 there during that first caution flag, and throughout our first break here in the evening and in the racing action, they came down pit road, making this gamble, making the earlier pit stop here. So we'll see if that kind of plays out for him, as Al Likens is scored as our race leader. Jeremiah Nelson there in second. Then we see Max Koss, Drew King, and yeah, I mean, if these guys can make it, I don't think they can make it much farther. I don't think they can make it too much longer, honestly, out there on the racetrack. They're going to probably come down pit road right around that same marker, that 30-lap area that we saw all these other drivers head down pit side. I don't think they're going to make it much more than that, and I don't think that's going to give them enough. They would either have to really save a ton of fuel to be able to hit a strategy that they can make it to the end of this race on just one stop here in the middle of this thing. I don't think they're going to be able to get there. I mean, maybe if they were saving right since the drop of the green flag again, when we went back to green flag racing on lap number 7, if they were saving, potentially they could get to lap 40, make one pit stop, and be able to make it another 30 laps, but it's going to get very, very tough. I don't think they're going to be able to save that much, and I think their game plan and their strategy going to be just a little bit shy of what they're able to complete, as we do see Koss now heading down pit road. So the V-Speed Reese's ride heads down pit side here this evening. So there goes Koss down pit road. Al Likens, Jeremiah Nelson, Drew King, all staying out on the racetrack here for Drew King. This is going to be lap number 35 for him. Virtually 30 laps of racing action there, kind of for that 34 ride, maybe about 34 with the other caution lap in there as well. So might be able to make it one more lap. It's going to get tough. I don't know. And they do have a big gap here, so if they can't save enough fuel, they can kind of play that strategy where they've kind of got 23 seconds or so between themselves and Jack Simpson. If they can have that late in the race and be able to have that little bit of a gap that they can just kind of roll out of the throttle, but I think it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much for them to be able to do anything. As there we go, you do see Al Likens and Nelson both head down pit road. So Likens and Nelson down pit side here on lap number 35 for Drew King. He's staying out for at least another lap here. So King definitely playing a whole different ball game here this evening for that 34 ride. Obviously staying out quite a bit longer here than everybody else. And he was down pit road on lap 5 compared to Jeremiah Nelson and Al Likens, who made an additional pit stop on lap number 6. So that 34 is definitely running this thing bone dry out there on the speedway. Now he's just got to hope that he can make it all the way around the racetrack. If you get, you run out of fuel down in corner number 2, more than likely you're not going to make it back to that front straightaway. It's such a long distance, so you got to be very, very conscious on what you're doing and how much fuel you got. And here we go. He cannot make it any farther, so he does head down pit side here himself, and this is on lap 36. He'll complete lap 36 when he rolls into his pit box, so just don't think he can make it 34 laps here on one tank of fuel. If they get a caution flag, maybe he can save a little bit, but I think if we get a yellow flag at this point, everyone may come down pit road and get fuel, get tires, and everything else. So I don't know if that's going to work out for him, but here we go. Now that Pit cycles have kind of circled their way through. The number 24, Jack Simpson, will retake that race lead. So Simpson, he's been virtually the reflection of perfection. He's been out in front. He's been leading this race all evening long, except for those, 5-6 laps there of, green flag pit stops. Other than that, this 24 ride has been out in front, has been looking very dominant here this evening at the tricky triangle, and keeping Adam Boughton back there at bay. Is Boughton still about 1 second, just a little bit more, so he's actually fallen back ever so slightly from that 24 ride. Not a whole lot, as Dalton Wicker rolls there in third. Gage Wenzel in position number 4. Wenzel has been making some moves here. Not only did he get around Anthony Ludi, but he also got around Zach Wilson and Michael Sheffield, so making some passes out there on the racetrack. And for the number 36, trying to slide his way up towards that top 3 here as he's hunting down that 77 of Dalton Wicker. Wicker right there in front of him, and man, Gage Wenzel looking for 4 wins in a row. What a crazy story it would be if he can find the strategy, find the speed, find the gear that he may need to try to put himself up and into victory lane for the 4th race in a row here in the Hypershift Racing League. That would be absolutely diabolical, as out in front is Jack Simpson, his teammate, continue to show these drivers how to get it done. About a second between himself and Adam Boughton as the Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea ride, trying to hunt him down here. As drivers may still be trying to save a little bit of fuel here, but they're all just trying to make it to probably that safety area. If they can probably make it to lap 50, maybe even go to lap 50, probably a good call, but some drivers may pit a little earlier. They may come down pit road around lap 45, maybe lap 48, try to get a few laps extra of green flag racing with fresher tires that they may be able to use to their advantage here, where other drivers may try to run a little bit longer out there on the racetrack and not have that fresh tire advantage here. So that could get interesting late in this race, and for everybody, probably going to have to make at least one more pit stop. And as we roll closer and closer to lap number 40, it is making it, no matter what, if we get a caution flag, anything else, it's going to be a one-stop race here to the end this evening. So that is going to make things very fun for these drivers, knowing that all they got to do is just keep hitting their marks, not make any mistakes, hopefully not see any caution flags, and risk getting tore up or tied up out there on the racetrack. Because now we do see something going wrong here. Oh, there we go. He's back. Okay, Gage Wenzel blinking there down the front straightaway. I thought for some reason maybe he ended up losing connection, but he is back. Just blinked there for a little bit. Fell down through the scoreboard, but here he is still rolling there in position number 4, trying to reel in that 77 of Dalton Wicker. We saw these two really duking it out there before green flag pit stops got underway. We'll have to wait and see if they can continue that battle here out there on the racetrack. If Dalton Wicker is going to be just as rough and tough with that 36, or if Wenzel's just going to try to quickly make this move, get around him, and slide up here into third. We'll see if he can make that move down into corner number 3 as they head down through 3, nice and easy out of 4. Who's going to get back onto the throttle the soonest and try to open up a little bit of an advantage down the front straightaway? Looks like they're going to be dead even though down here across the line, and it looks like they will drag race all the way back into corner number 1. So for Wenzel, he's just got to hope that maybe here in corner number 1 he makes that move. There we go, drives it deep down low, slides up the racetrack. Here comes Wicker though, looking to battle back down to his inside. Wicker says, I'm not done with this fight yet. I'm not just going to give you that spot. And they make some more contact down the back straightaway here into the tunnel turn. Now this is another tough position to be in, door to door down into this tunnel turn. Obviously 36 gets a little bit higher right there, trying to lead that lane down low, and there you go. You see Wicker slide up in front of him, so Wicker able to hang on to position number 3. Here comes the 36 though, back down to the inside, and as they continue to battle and continue to swap positions out there on the speedway, it's starting to bring a couple of these other drivers right into the pictures. They get very tight together there out of corner number 4, and my gosh, you see that 36 had to roll in that throttle, got very, very tight, washed up the racetrack, and now here comes Ludi. Here comes that one right of Sheffield and Zach Wilson right to their back bumper and into this fight. Great 5-car battle now for position number 3, and that's exactly what Jack Simpson and Adam Boughton want to see as they're continuing to try to pull away from that battle, as still about 1.1 seconds between Jack Simpson and our second place driver Adam Boughton. Behind Boughton, it's another 2.5 seconds to that 77 of Dalton Wicker, and then you see that battle for third between Wenzel, Ludi, Michael Sheffield, Zach Wilson, and our third-place driver, Dalton Wicker, out there on the racetrack as they continue to duke it out. They continue to slice and dice out there on the racetrack. Jack Simpson down across the line will complete lap number 42. And we got, 28 laps of racing action left to go here in this race. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here in a quick hurry. And it's already kind of open season here in the next lap or two. Green light will be on to come down pit road. You may be able to make it to the end of this race, in a lap or two. You should be able to make it to the end without having to make another pit stop. So we could see drivers coming early, making that strategy call and hoping to catch a caution flag where everyone else still is needing some fuel and potentially could take that track position here today. So we'll see if anyone makes that strategy, makes that call, pits early, and hopes to try to catch a break here this evening later on in this feature event. But right now it's all Jack Simpson, Adam Boughton, Dalton Wicker. They're in third as we're going to jump into a very quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we want you to do right now is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Caution flag on the racetrack. Yellow flag, yellow flag. Oh, baby, this kind of throws a wrench into everything. As the caution flag comes out here during our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up as Zach Wilson down and out of corner number 1. Gonna lose it here. Let's take a look at this 51 ride. He's been working on the back bumper of this one machine. Unfortunately, gets a little tight, washed up the track, bounces it off the outside fence right there, gets loose down the apron. You see this car just kind of go over the big bumps that are down there. He's still trying to catch it, still trying to hang on to it. Finally, that car goes around on him here, has to get that thing locked up, and here comes oncoming traffic, and there we see the caution flag fly. Let's take another look back at it, as this will be our second caution flag of the day, and this had a very, very interesting area here this evening, as there were some drivers that had already made their final pit stops. Here we go. There's the 51 into the fence, and then watch this car bounce down here. Bam, 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 bouncing. And it gets loose again, coming back onto the track, over those humps again, and there he finally locks it up, goes around, unfortunately, there for the Rogue. Tech Works number 51 ride stopped on the back straightaway here. That's where we see that yellow flag fly, and now it's a very interesting situation, as a lot of these drivers going to have to make pit stops. A lot of these drivers going to have to come down pit road. They're not forced to. They do have fuel still in their tank that they can make it, you know, another 10 laps or so before probably having to come down pit side. But the theory is that if they come down pit road now, they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. They do not need to make another pit stop or green flag pit stop here this evening. So you got to take that opportunity. But we did see Dalton Wicker and Corey Denk also come down pit road there before that caution flag came out. They came down pit side, they got fuel, everything else, so that should virtually send them to the front of the field. As here we go, we do see Jack Simpson, Adam Bounton, Wenzel, Ludi, all these guys coming down pit road. As I said, they're virtually forced to come down pit side, knowing that they need to make this pit stop. We did see Kent Mueller also come down pit road there during that green flag. We did see Jonathan Cogswell. Actually, it looks like Kent Mueller finally on the racetrack. Kent missed the start of this race. He's a late car to join this race. We thought he was done and over with here this evening, but looks like he was able to finally load into the sim. Now, unfortunately for Kent Mueller, he's only ran about 4 laps of this race, and unfortunately, he's only going to be able to probably get one more position. Even mathematically, I think he can only gain one extra spot out there on the racetrack, and that is the 84 ride of Jonathan Cogswell, unless if Cogswell's car gets fixed up here in the next little bit and can roll out there before he gets passed by Kent Mueller, then I think it's going to be set there for those guys. That's the only position really that Kent can gain out there on the racetrack. But as everyone else comes down pit side, a slow pit stop there for Zach Wilson. We do see Dylan Pinkelsheimer. He will come down pit side. That was a great caution flag for him, as that did give him the wave around the lucky dog. Back on the lead lap here for the 45 right now. He's going to get an opportunity to get this car worked on here. Try to get this thing fixed up and back into good racing condition. We'll see if the crew can get this thing fixed up. You see that heavy left front damage there for the Money Lion Toyota here this evening. So he'll get that car worked on. We did see Chronister still down pit side as well. He's got a little damage, trying to get that fixed up as well. But hitting early. Hitting early and taking that gamble, working out here for this 77 ride of Dalton Wicker. His teammate Corey Denk right there with him, as Corey did come down pit side, made that early pit stop as well. But Corey does have quite a little bit of right front damage here on this number 17 ride, so we'll have to see if that's going to hinder him here this evening. Potentially that damage may affect the handling of that car, as it's teammates on the front row, teammates in the second row here this evening, as it is the Tiny Toes team there in first and second for this restart. Jack Simpson, the 2430 Motorsports, RaceEPI.com 24 ride there in third. His teammate Gage Wenzel in the 2430 Motorsports. Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches 36 rolls there in position number 4. So it's a battle between the Tiny Toes in the 24-30 teammates here this evening at the front of the field, and I do believe teammates back behind them with Jeremiah Nelson in position number 5 and Al Likens there in 6, and then teammates again in row number 4 with Adam Bounton falling all the way back to 7th and Anthony Ludi there in 8th. And then I do believe we finally see the first set of non-teammates back there in row 5 with Michael Sheffield and Justin Hendry. Koss there in 11th, Chase Abel in 12th. Then we see the 2 rider James Hudson in 13th, Zach Wilson there in 14th, and Drew King, who for some reason is no longer on the racetrack right now, as I'm not sure if he lost connection, but looks like Drew King should be in that 15th position, but he's not rolling out there on the speedway, so it looks like Dylan Picklesheimer will move up into the 15th position here. Still has quite a bit of damage on that 45 ride. Unfortunately, that is still going to make his car very, very tough to drive here all evening long, and for Tyler Chronister, he's able to roll back out there, but Chronister was down pit road there for an extended period of time, and I do believe that is going to put the 99 ride a lap down out there on the speedway, so that's a tough break for the 99. Definitely not a spot you want to be, but we'll see if he can get a quick caution flag and get himself back into the action here today. So here we go, back to green flag racing as the Tiny Toes rides out in front, but that car who's been leading majority of this race, the 24, Jack Simpson, quickly working his way down low and around that 17 of Corey Denk, and now we see him already looking to the inside, peering deep down low underneath the 77 of Dalton Wicker. Wicker going to hold him off down and out of corner number 1 here at the tricky triangle, trying to take us down into the tunnel turn and hoping that the track position, that game plan to make that early pit stop will work in his favor and potentially put him into a winning situation here this evening. And now you do see here comes Gage Wenzel. Wenzel trying to get around the 17 right. He'll open up the door down low into corner number 3 here this evening. So he's making the move and looks like he should be able to complete the pass here on the 17 right. But a big run coming out of that 17. A couple blocks there out of that 36, killing the momentum and keeping Corey Denk back there at bay in position number 4. So here we go. It's on like Donkey Kong. Now you see Al Likens taking a peek down low. He wants to make the move around the 17. He's trying not to wash up the racetrack right there. Unfortunately, going to get tight. He is going to wash up ever so slightly. Not going to carry a lot of speed down out of corner number 1. He is going to lose that spot to Corey Denk, and he may lose another spot here to the 20 right of Jeremiah Nelson, as Nelson does get around him. So that big move down low, unfortunately, does not pay off for the 9 right there. As here comes Ludi. Here comes the 54. Justin Hendry is out in front. It's still Dalton Wicker. Wicker has the race lead. He's hoping that the track position, the clean air on the nose of this Tiny Toes ride may keep him here at the front of the field and winning this race here this evening. But Jack Simpson will look to try to take it away. Oh, baby, Jeremiah Nelson. Big hit. Caution flag back on the racetrack. Caution flag once again here this evening. Man, that was a big hit, and that is night over for this 20 ride as Jeremiah down low, trying to get around Corey Denk right here, but it looks like the 9 rider Al Likens taking a big run down to the inside, and oh, looks like Corey gets a little loose on corner exit right there as Corey gets up tight to that outside fence, trying to carry as much speed as he can. Watch the Tiny Toes ride. Unfortunately gets loose, washes down the track, hits that 20 ride and puts him right into the sand barriers there on pit entry, and unfortunately for the 20 ride, that is just going to completely total that car. His night is going to be over. There's no way he comes back from that here this evening, as man, that was a big hit. Let's see if we can get another look at it. As watch the 17 here on the outside lane. Sends it up there. I'm not sure. He may, yeah, right there. He actually scrapes the outside fence for how much he was pushing up the racetrack. So he bounces off of the wall down into the 20 ride. Unfortunately, just wrong place, wrong time. And for the 20 ride, it just tees him up. I thought maybe he'd try to aim for pit road and just take his lickings with the penalty down pit side and having to go down pit road. But unfortunately, gets into the safer barriers. That does bring the caution flag back out, and that means we will get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to trying to go back to green flag racing here in just a little bit as our third caution flag of the day. Now, that's definitely going to make sure that everybody is good on fuel. We may see a few other drivers try to take some opportunities with getting some repairs like this 45 ride. So we will see Picklesheimer back down pit road, trying to get this money line machine fixed back up and back into one good piece here to get rocking and rolling late in this race. For Tyler Chronister, it's a big break for him, as that did give him the wave around that he was looking for in that Walmart Chevy Camaro. Back on the lead lap here this evening. Great break there for Tyler Chronister, as we did see Picklesheimer, Koss both come down pit road. Unfortunately for Jeremiah Nelson, Nelson's probably going to be down pit road here for the rest of the night. We saw the damage in the contact that kind of took Cogswell out of this race. Well, he got it way worse than what the 84 ride did. That was a absolutely insane hit right there. Probably about 170 miles an hour head on into those safer barriers, and unfortunately they do not move. They do not move at all. They're virtually concrete here in iRacing, but we have seen drivers in real life. We look back at Kyle Larson, who did it at that was Homestead Miami Speedway, and even though they're full of sand, these things act like concrete in real life as well, and they just absolutely tear a car apart. And unfortunately, for the 20 ride, I believe his night is going to be done. We did see Drew King also lose connection. He is down and out of this race. Kent Mueller rejoined this race after not making the initial start, and he is virtually about, 45 laps behind here. It took him about 45 laps before he got out there onto the racetrack, so missed the first 45, but here just have some fun, enjoy the rest of his day as he rolls there in position number 18. Cogswell, Carter, Zofeld also down and out of this race here this evening. So tough break for them. Tough day out there on the speedway, and obviously a lot of drivers running into issues later in this race. For Dylan Picklesheimer, looks like the crew did a really good job there during this caution flag. They really got this 45 ride kind of figured back out. Unfortunately, not a lot of track position late in the race, so he'll have to try to battle his way back through that. But the lights are turned off, the official iRacing pace car, and we will get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments, as we'll get a quick break in, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag battling here in just a couple more moments.
Rubber burning engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hyper shift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hyper shift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, the glory we take.
Alrighty, here we go, back to green flag racing for what could be our final restart of the day, as the 77 Dalton Wicker gets a great launch and a perfect restart there for the Tiny Toes ride as he sends it down into corner number 1, looking to carry that speed, looking to carry that momentum, looking to try to keep Jack Simpson back there at bay as he wants to have that open racetrack as there's contact. Look out, it is Corey Dent going around. Corey goes for a slide, and the caution flag will come back out. So cautions breeding cautions here late in this race, and unfortunately for Corey, it looks like it's going to be game over. That car, heavy damage. Look at the smoke burrowing out of that car, man. This thing, I'm not sure. Is it on fire? What's going on here? Corey, if that car is on fire, brother, you may want to get out of it as quick as possible because that is a ton of smoke rolling out from underneath that 17 ride. As let's take a look back as him and Gage Wenzel get tied together here. Wenzel down low. He's trying to carry that speed and momentum, looking to try to stay door to door, wanting to side draft down the long back straightaway here. Unfortunately just misjudges it. Thought he was either going to be able to slide in behind him or wasn't going to run into him right there, and does get a piece of that 17 ride. So Corey, unfortunately, here the victim of the contact as they battle here, and then bam, right there to that left rear quarter panel, just hooks him. Already a very loose area for drivers coming out of the corner, and laying on their toes there, laying on the tires, and obviously that little bit of contact, all it takes to spin that car around. Heavy hit down to that inside fence. We saw that same style of a hit virtually take out the 84 ride here this evening, and for Cogswell, he had that issue back on lap number 8 and still has not rejoined this race. So I feel like the 17 ride of Corey Dank, his day may be done here this evening, and that is one of the Tiny Toes rides potentially out of this race. There's Corey, heads down into his pit stall here. Look at the smoke still rolling out of this ride. Luckily enough, he does get that car back down pit road, but unfortunately, that's going to be a lot of time down pit side. They're going to take days to try to fix that car up, to get that thing working again and getting it back into racing condition, as he'll stay down pit road here for probably a little while. His teammate Dalton Wicker with the race lead here, he just wants to try to hit these restarts, and now with Jack Simpson and Gage Wenzel right there behind, we're going to make these restarts that much tougher. And now look who's back up inside the top 5 here this evening. It's Anthony Ludi in that 213 Simware. DrAutoArt.com, number 95 ride is Anthony Ludi in position number 4 here this evening. Is Al Likens back in 5th, Adam Belton there in 6th, Justin Hendry, Zach Wilson, Chase Abel, and Dylan Pickleseimer, who's gotten his car fixed up, now back inside the top 10. So great recovery for that Money Lion ride as he rolls in at position number 10. James Hudson there at 11th with Michael Sheffield, Max Cost, our top 13. Chronister back down pit road trying to get some extra repairs and everything else that he may need here, back in the 14th position. And then Corey Dank, Jeremiah Nelson there down out of this race. Drew King out of this race. Kent Mueller back down pit road. Looks like he's going to probably either roll back out there or he may potentially call it a day, as there is mathematically no way he gains another position out on the racetrack. So he may just sit down pit road for the rest of this one, knowing that he doesn't want to ruin anyone else's race or take them out of this one. So not wanting to cause any more issues here this evening. Looks like he's going to be down pit road. So we started with 21 cars, and through, 4 or 5 caution flags, now we are down about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers potentially out of this race before we see that checkered flag fly. So they've been dropping like flies. We've been having tons of issues, a lot of tore up race cars, and nonetheless, we'll get them all ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out again here this evening. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here again in just a couple more moments. Don't go anywhere, as you do not want to miss the finish of this race. We should have about a 10-lap shootout to finish off this evening's festivities.
Rubber burning engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hyper shift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screams lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hyper shift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafting on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Tire spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hypershift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's delight. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the
Alrighty, here we go. Pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and this field is decimated. Not a lot of drivers left out there, but not a lot of laps left to go here at Pocono as Dalton Wicker has that race lead, able to get a great launch down through the Geico restart zone, able to open up a couple car length lead down here into corner number one. He's going to try to close that door once again here on Jack Simpson. His lookout Gage Wenzel gets loose in the hunt for 4-peat here for Wenzel. Looks like it may have just went out the window here. So Wenzel slides all the way back now into 7th, still trying to hold off Sheffield, the 45 ride right there of Dylan Picklesheimer, and things are going to get tight down into corner number 2 here at the tunnel turn, but it's Dalton Wicker who has the race lead here. He's got the clean air, the fresh air to the front nose of the 77 ride. It may be what he needs to keep that 24 ride at Jack Simpson back there at bay, but Simpson has led the most laps here this evening, qualified in that pole position. He's one of only a few drivers that have been able to run in the 52-second bracket here this evening. So if he can find that speed, if he can find those runs, potentially he can try to jump up here, make the move, and get around this 77 ride late in this race for the race lead. With only 9 laps left to go, though, it is still anyone's game. Anyone can make a mistake at any single point out there on the racetrack. You run into an issue, you have a problem, you could all of a sudden slide backwards in a quick hurry, and now you do see Gage Wenzel already making moves, trying to battle his way back inside the top 5, able to get back around Justin Hendry, able to get back around Zach Wilson right there. And for the Tom's Tasty Taters and Walleye Fish Sandwiches, having that issue, having that slip back there out of corner number 1 has sent him all the way back into that 5th position, but he was battling up inside the top 3, so he'll have to try and close a big gap here, about 2 seconds to our race leader, only about 1.3 seconds though to the back bumper of Adam Boughton. But our front leaders here, man, it's a 2-car tandem out there right now, as you do see this 95 rider Anthony Ludi come with some great speed, but last time around Gage Wenzel laid down not only his quickest lap of this race, but the quickest lap of this race by almost a 1/10 of a second faster than anyone else has ran a lap here today. And now we see one driver into the outside fence. It's the 2 rider James Hudson. Hudson, heavy contact into the long poke back straightaway here. That car is absolutely tore up. That right front pointing the wrong direction here. Fender flying around, unfortunately, here with the iRacing server. Debris is not a caution flag, so we will not see a yellow flag for that. And for the 2 ride, he's going to try to lift this thing back down pit road. He may just be better off to pull it down into the infield grass right there and tow it down pit road, as that's probably going to be game over for him. But let's take a look at it as he's trying to battle here with the number 7 ride. That is the 7 machine right in front of him, and it looks like he just bounces off the wall right there, gets loose, and luckily enough just narrowly avoids the 54 ride right there. That could have been a big hit there for Justin Hendry, and unfortunately, though, for the 2 ride, getting loose there, getting bounced off that wall, and then going back into it right there. Heavy hit, big damage for him, and unfortunately that may take him out of this race. And we see another driver running into issues, and another driver that may be done for the day. Tyler Chronister now running into problems. Another driver trying to push their car to the limits here following the 63 ride. They both bounce it off the fence right there. Pretty big damage to both drivers. And then the 99 ride still just trying to get the handle back onto that car. Unfortunately, finally just kind of shoots down to the infield. Heavy hit into that wall, and obviously left front, tons of damage on that car. His night will be over. So we lose another driver as James Hudson does make it down pit road here. Looks like he's going to stay down pit road for probably the rest of this race, more than likely, as I don't think he's going to be able to get this car fixed up in time to even get back out onto the racetrack. Tyler has already taken his car off of the speedways. There we go. James is going to tow. He will take that car down pit side. So we started with 21 drivers. I do believe with Kent Mueller still down pit side, Jeremiah Nelson, Corey Denk, James Hudson, and Chronister now off the racetrack. We only got 12 drivers left rolling out there on the speedway, and for the 63 ride, he did get quite a bit of damage, but we did see a pass for the race lead as Jack Simpson was able to make his way finally around the 77 ride of Dalton Wicker. Wicker and the 24 side by side at a corner number 1. And Jack Simpson has been trying to figure out a way to gain this speed, the momentum that he's shown all day long, and down through the tunnel turn, able to shove it in there deep, slides up, makes the 77 have to roll out of the throttle. He's able to keep his foot on the pedal, clears the 77, gets a good run down into corner number 3. Here comes Wicker trying to battle back to him, but he cannot get there as taking the race lead back away late in this race. It is that 24 Jack Simpson, but here comes Anthony Ludy. Ludy up and into second now. He's worked his way around that 77 of Dalton Wicker as well. So Wicker slides back to third. Does Ludy have anything here for Jack Simpson late in this race? Is down across the line. They will click off another lap, and we get 4 laps left to go. So 4 more laps left in this race, and it's Jack Simpson right where he started. Once again, back out in front. Anthony Ludy, who started in position number 2, back into position number 2. Bounton, who started in 4th, back into 4th here. So drivers kind of getting right back to where they started out there on the speedway, but they're looking for a little bit more. A few of them trying to figure out a way to potentially put themselves up and into victory lane. For Dalton Wicker, heartbreak for him, obviously having that strategy. Came down pit road on lap 45. We saw a caution flag just a couple laps later. And as we got those yellow flag, that yellow flag did come out. Everyone else had to come down pit side, and for Dalton Wicker, he was able to navigate his way to the front of the field, have that race lead. His teammate that was with him, Corey Denk, he was trying to race with him, trying to keep that draft and trying to help him out and keep some of these other drivers back at bay. Unfortunately, quickly after that caution flag, Corey got turned around. He got tore up. His day is done, and for Dalton Wicker, lost his one and only teammate out there on the racetrack, and now kind of just a sitting duck as he slid back now into third as Jack Simpson taking the race lead back away. Here with only 3 laps left to go, they head down the long poke back straightaway into the tunnel turn here at Pocono Speedway here. The tricky triangle here this evening. It has proved to be fairly tricky for a lot of these drivers, as we've seen. Oh man, I don't even know how many drivers. 9 cats done and out of this race, something like that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers no longer out there on the racetrack. We start with 21. We only got 12 drivers still rolling out there on the speedway, and they're all being led back down across the line with 2 laps left to go. It's Jack Simpson out in front of the field. Ludy there in second. We do see some great battling back here for position number 5. Gage Wenzel trying to keep that 5th position, but the one ride of Michael Sheffield trying to take the top 5 away from that 36. You do see Dylan Picklesheimer and Al Likens getting into this battle as well, and this could be the last thing that Jack Simpson wants to see is a late race caution flag. A late race yellow flag could potentially take this win away from him. So if he knows that his teammates battling hard back here, he may want to tell this number 36 ride, hey man, take it easy. Do not cause an issue. Do not cause a caution flag back there at any cost, because you do not want to see one here this late in the race if you're Jack Simpson. As here comes Simpson down and out of corner number 4, down across the line, and there he goes. He will see that white flag fly. So the next flag will end it no matter what. The next flag will end this race as you continue to see them battling back here, shifting lanes and making moves back here for that 5th position on the speedway. And you see some movement here as well as the 94 rider Adam Boughton trying to jump up, steal that 3rd spot away from Dalton Wicker. Wicker trying to keep his foot in the throttle here, but back there behind him, man. This has been a heck of a battle here for position number 5 right now. It's Michael Sheffield who has it. The 9 ride of Al Likens now trying to take it away as Gage Wenzel slides back to 7th. He's got Dylan Picklesheimer and Chase Abel right there ready to pounce. As now we do see Dylan gets up into the outside fence, but for the final time here this evening, down through quarter number 3, nice and easy for the 24 as Jack Simpson will pick up the DrAutoArt.com 175 here at the Tricky Triangle Pocono Speedway. Gets won by the 24 of Jack Simpson. And Simpson picks up the checker flag and will pull himself up and into the Pocono Speedway victory lane here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the RaceEPI.com 2430 Motorsports and number 24 of Jack Simpson. As Simpson picks up the dub, wins this race after what was a fairly dominant performance here. This car was fast all evening long, led the most laps, was able to make the right moves when put into a little bit of a hole there throughout those caution flags, and battling back and putting himself into victory lane here this evening. Now, not 4 wins in a row for Gage Wenzel. For all the Wenzel fans, I know they want to see the 4-peat here this evening, but for Wenzel, he still gets to celebrate his teammate here, picking up the win. So the 2430 Motorsports team with the 4-peat. Gage Wenzel himself not a part of the win here this evening, but man, what a run right there. As Ludi also very, very good run there for the 213 Simware. Number 95 right of Anthony Ludi coming home in position number 2. And the Tiny Toes 77 right of Dalton Wicker able to just hold off Adam Bounton for position number 3 here this evening. As Jaden says, yay, Jack. Well done, he says. Well done. Absolutely. Heck of a run. Heck of a drive right there for that 24 ride. As we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews going to come up next here in just a little bit. We'll drag these drivers in and get them in for their post-race interviews. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without a doubt, from victory lane, our race winner, Jack Simpson. Hey, Jack, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
I got a copy.
Jack, man, what a run, what a race. Take us through this one, man. It looked like it was yours to lose all evening long. That little caution flag around lap 47, 48 put you into a little bit of a hole there. Obviously losing the race lead, having that track position getting taken away from you. Took you a while with the additional caution flags and everything else, and honestly trying to figure out a way to beat Dalton Wicker, and you're able to finally find your way around him here in the closing laps, jump back out in front, and then hold off Anthony Ludi and the rest of this field to put that 24 ride up here into victory lane and taming the Tricky Triangle here this evening, man. Take us back through this race and what's going through your mind right now as you get to celebrate down in victory lane.
Well, I don't think I took a breath the final 10 laps or so, but you know, I put in a lot of practice throughout this week. It's one of my favorite tracks, and it's a good track to get my first win at. So, yeah, from the start, I knew I was going to be fast. I put it on pole, and then I think on the long runs, I would just pull away. But the cautions didn't help at all. Dalton and Corey, they had a good strategy, and that put them out ahead when that caution came out around a little past the 40 lap mark. So I knew it was going to be hard to get around them, but my restarts were good. And I tried to figure out what Dalton was doing wrong, and I tried to use that for my advantage to pass him, and I got it done. And after that, I was confident I was going to pull away and win. So,
yeah, absolutely. You were able to do just that. Pull away and put yourself up and into victory lane. Obviously, this late in the season when all the bonus points, everything else, they matter so much here this late in the season with the playoffs just a couple of races away, man. What does this mean for you in your playoff hopes here this season?
well, it obviously helps, but I don't think it's going to play a big role in the playoffs. I'm missing 3 weeks anyway in the playoffs for kart racing, so. But it's always a good thing to have in my back pocket, and I've been trying to get a win here for a while. So even though it probably won't play a big role in the postseason, I'm happy I can finally get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally getting that monkey off your back and putting this 24 ride up and into victory lane after so many strong races and good, performances and just things not going your way. And obviously seeing your teammate picking up a lot of wins there for Gage Wenzel. He's got 7 on the season. Obviously have to kind of take a back seat behind him, knowing that he's been able to get all these dubs, and you've just been kind of lurking there in the background waiting for your time to bite and get up in here into victory lane. You're finally able to get through and poke through here at Pocono.
Yeah. I know, since even though my wins are, they're not going to help me a lot in the postseason, I'm still going to try to fight for the win every week. If I'm up front, I'm not going to cut the playoff drivers. Like, I'm not going to give them any room. But it's a good thing to have, and it's a good thing to finally be the next driver on my team to get a win. We obviously have only one winner on the team this year, so yeah, I'm very happy I could get it before the postseason.
Absolutely. Able to break through, get the dub here this evening. Jack, hell of a run, hell of a performance here this evening as your other teammate, Jaden. He's been in the chat. He's been cheering you on here all evening long. Pumped up to see you up in victory lane, brother. And I'm sure there's a lot of other fans in the stands happy to see this 24 ride up and into victory lane here this evening. Jack, who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
I'd like to thank Gage mostly. He was a really good teammate all race, and he prioritized me over him, and he also helped me practice a lot before the race. So I want to thank him, and Jaden for the support, and Elite Performance Industries, and yeah, that's it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Jack, hell of a run, hell of a drive here this evening, brother. Hopefully, many more wins on the season, even with your limited schedule here late in the season. Hopefully, we'll see you back up in the broadcast booth at least a few more times before the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm confident that'll happen. I'll be back in the broadcast booth a couple times.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack, and hopefully next week, maybe right back up here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, of course.
As I leave Jack, enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 24 of Jack Simpson. As Simpson able to break through and picks up the checkered flag here this evening in the DrAutoArt.com 175 here at Pocono Speedway. Huge shout out there to our race winner this evening as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. He's also one of the admins, one of the owners here of the series. It's Anthony Looney. Looney coming home in position number 2. Hey, Anthony, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
What's up, brother?
Not much. Anthony, man, hell of a run, hell of a drive here this evening, man. That 95 ride hooked up here, showing a lot of speed all evening long. And late in this race, we thought you were maybe going to get up there, get a chance to maybe battle with Jack to try to steal this win away from him with that 24 ride. You were chasing him pretty much all evening long.
Yeah, we really was, man. I got to give a shout out to my teammate, though. The entire team, honestly. RMS, I've learned a ton racing with these guys. The 95 Toyota, the Adidas car was hooked up, man. I'm thrilled to death to run with the 2430 guys and the Tiny Toes boys. These guys are fast week in and week out, and anytime you can be up there and be competitive with them, it's a privilege. So that was a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can put yourself around very, very strong competition and hold your own out there on the racetrack, definitely a very big confidence booster, not only for yourself, but a lot of these other drivers in the series. And for yourself, another solid run, a top 2 finish here. I don't think we've talked to you very often here this year in the broadcast booth for post-race interviews, but here just before the playoffs getting underway, man, what does this mean for yourself in the points here this year, trying to put yourself into championship contention?
Honestly, it means a ton. We were sitting 10th in points before this, and what I told Adam on that last restart, I just said, man, I need this race more than anything. The internal points battle headed into the playoffs is tight as hell, and I feel like I maybe gave myself a little bit of breathing room headed into next week, and that's exactly what we needed to do.
Absolutely. Getting that little bit of breathing room, getting the much needed points here, and parking yourself up and on the podium. Obviously building up some momentum and hopefully many more trips up here into the broadcast booth to finish off this season, and maybe even a championship lurking around the corner for you. But Anthony, hell of a run, hell of a drive here this evening, brother. Who would you like to thank for the great performance out there on the racetrack?
First and foremost, I want to thank the team. Once again, I've learned a ton racing with these guys, ton of positive energy. I want to thank all the drivers here in HRL. Running a racing league is not easy. There's trials and tribulations throughout the year, and I feel like for this being our first season, we've got a fantastic core and we're looking to build on it for next year. So we're going to start recruiting when this season is over. If anybody out there is interested, message us at Hypershift Racing League on all the social media pages. One of the admins will get back with you. Congratulations to Jack and Dalton. I felt like maybe I had a chance to dive bomb it in there, but I respect the hell out of Jack, and I'm not going to do that. He's a great racer, great young talent, and I hope he sticks with us for a long time to come. And last but not least, the best damn broadcaster on the service, Peacemaker Gaming, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. I appreciate that, brother. Anthony, hell of a run, heck of a drive here this evening at Pocono, man. As I said, hopefully some momentum being built up. Hopefully many more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth for the rest of the season.
I appreciate you, brother. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, bud.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 95 of Anthony Ludi as Ludi comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Great run, great race there for that 95 ride as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the 77 of Dalton Wicker, the Tiny Toes machine, jumping up into the booth. Hey, Dalton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, bud?
Not much. Dalton, man, another great run, another great race. Looked like things were going to be working in your favor here late in this one. Obviously taking that pit strategy coming down pit road there. Once you kind of got that green light, knew that you can make it on fuel with that pit stop there during the green flag on lap 45. And then a few laps later, you get the great break. Caution flag comes out. Everyone else has to pit during that yellow flag. You leapfrog them, push yourself and Corey onto the front row here, and then obviously issues there for Corey, gets collected, gets turned around, he's out of this race, and then you gotta try to hit a few more restarts and try to hold Jack Simpson and Ludi and all these other guys back there at bay, and unfortunately late in this race, Simpson, Ludi able to get around you, but you're able to hold on for a top 3 performance, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind right now as you're able to round out our podium?
Yeah, I definitely could have used probably 1 or 2 more laps before the yellow. Took a big swing at it, tried to learn from our mistakes last week and really lean on the tires there. I took 2 tires all race and tried to hop the strategy a little bit early on the fuel there to get to the end. So that worked out for us. Corey was having a tough night of it, but he helped me out by staying out under the yellow there. So thank you to him. It's not his favorite track, but I thought he did great up until the end. Gage and him got into it, so that was kind of tough. But honestly, a great job for Jack and for Gage. Both of them I was running up front with all night, and it was tough racing. It was really hard to get around, and both of them kept it really clean. So I appreciate that from them. And a lot better night from the field I felt like tonight than last week. So hopefully it was entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Very entertaining. We saw some great racing there. We saw you and that number 36 of Gage Wenzel for quite a while there early in this race and through the middle of this race, duking it out for that 4th position, 5th position for quite a few laps, even getting into each other, leaning on each other a little bit. Man, take us through that battle between you and Gage there for quite a while out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, Gage is obviously really talented on here. It's always good to race with him. I think that our skill level is pretty equal. It just depends on the track and who's going to get into position first. So I had a great time with it. Hopefully he did too. But tough competition. Just trying to hold the air on each other's door, putting ourselves into good spots, and it's so tough to pass here. The setup was pretty tight, I felt like. So if you could just kind of hold the top and get a run, even if you made a half car through the middle there, you were going to be okay down to the next corner. I definitely feel like I gave this one away. Jack was so good through turn 3 there. I didn't have much for him, and I was trying so hard. And then once he got past, I lost momentum. Tony came through. So great job for both of them. Just happy to hold on to a podium.
Absolutely, brother. Holding on to that 3rd place finish and another trip up here into the broadcast booth. Dalton, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening at Pocono?
Well, first, I think I was a little critical on the field, so thanks to everybody this week. I thought it was a lot more clean. I know there was a couple of incidents late, and my teammate was a part of that, but everybody really was racing tough, racing clean, and we got through it. So I was really excited for that. Great finish for myself happy to go into playoffs. I think we got some good points to move up a little bit and just kind of keep the momentum going. Thank you to you. Thanks to Adam, Tony, keeping this thing going every week. I really appreciate it, and it is a great league. Hopefully everybody enjoys it the same as I do.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And obviously, still a lot of racing left to go here this season, but Season 2 right around the corner here for the Hypershift Racing League. And hopefully we'll see the Tiny Toes team back in action and trying to duke it out there next season as well. But obviously, anyone else that's watching, if you guys want to get in on the next season, make sure you guys get a hold of the Hypershift Racing League over on, I think they're on Twitter, on Instagram, and over on Facebook as well. So you can shoot them DMs there and try to get yourself locked in for the next season. But man, Dalton, so far, man, a lot of great finishes, a lot of great runs, a couple wins here on the season for you, man. What do you got to, look forward to here? Playoffs underway and just a couple more races, and obviously going to be some tough competition to try to keep back there at bay.
Yeah, it's always tough up here. Obviously, Gage, Jack, they're going to be up there running for the playoff. But we're ready to go. We're just focused on our season. I'm excited to get into playoffs, see what we can do here.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see everything get underway and how things will play out, and hopefully many more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth. Dalton, congrats again on the third place run, and hopefully we'll see you back up here next week.
Yeah, man. Peace, love, Tiny Toes.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Our third place finisher, Dalton Wicker, here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for Dalton as he jumps up and into position number 3. Heck of a drive, heck of a performance from each and every one of these drivers, and we can't thank them enough for helping out there and putting on a show for us here this evening. Huge shout out to Hypershift Racing League and all of our amazing sponsors, including tonight's sponsor, as this was the Dr. Otto Art.com 175 here in this one. Sean O'Keefe says kudos to all. Great league, great racing, baby. That's exactly what we saw here tonight, Sean. As man, some great battles out there, and unfortunately the night has come to a close. Racing action is done. The smoke has settled here in Pocono, and unfortunately that will do it for us here this evening. But we can't thank you guys enough for all the love here this evening, all the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the drivers or fans of the stands that tuned in. We can't thank you guys enough, and if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well. Helps us out a ton. Drop a couple comments. Tell us what you thought of the broadcast. Says, man, still a lot of racing left to go here in the season, and we can't wait to see these drivers back in action next Thursday night. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love, chat. Peace and love. And we'll see y'all later.
Rubber burning engine screaming, it's a madhouse. Hypershift racing, every driver wild and riled out. Peacemaker broadcast, a crowd tuned in tight, watching steel beasts fight under stadium lights. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Tires spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. Adrenaline profits, in the fast lane we stay. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Time spinning rhythm, a tempo, the glory we take. Tire spinning rhythm, a dangerous ballet. Hypershift gladiators in an asphalt ballet. Drafted on the curves, it's a calculated gamble. One wrong move leaves your dreams dismantled. Crowd roaring, engines roaring, echoes break the sky. Broadcast live for the legends who never fear to fly. Checker flags beckon, it's the road we obey. adrenaline, profits in the fast lane we stay. Pistons pump like heartbeats, it's mechanical insanity. Hyper shift warriors bending physics with calamity. Peacemaker feeds a frenzy to every fan's delight. When the lead's in the zone, it's a glorious fight. Pedal to the floor, we ain't pumping no brakes. Speed demons in the zone, leaving fire in their wake. On the edge of chaos, ain't no room to fake. Peacemaker screens lit for the glory we